Hey, welcome to Empowering DIY. I have a surprise for you. I'm not in the attic or in the shop. I actually brought you inside the house today, and for 2 years now, almost 2 years, my wife has been asking me to shiplap the wall. And we actually started the process a little bit. I'm going to show you what I've done in the shop already. And today we're going to hopefully get a bunch of it shiplapped. This is like a faux shiplap. What do you call it? Faux or fake or fox, whatever you want to call it. To do this, we're going to use an underlayment. I'll show you that in the shop. I already have some of it cut up. And before I go on any farther, I'll go ahead and record what I'm doing. But we have to paint the back of this white because this color won't match the way we want to do the shiplap. So there'll be spaces in between there. So we'll paint this wall white, and then we'll do the shiplap, and then paint the shiplap whatever color the wife decides, probably white. So no further ado, we'll set you up on a tripod and do a little time lapse of us getting the wall painted, and then I'll show you the process on how we're gonna shiplap. So hang tight. All right, guys. So we made it to the shop. What I wanted to talk about is this is the under laminate. It's real thin. It's 1/4 inch. Actually, there's a label right here. Let's make a mess. There's a label. It's just 4 foot by 8 foot by whatever, 1/4 inch. But as you can see, it's just a standard floor laminate, whatever, cheap veneer. We buy it at Lowe's or Home Depot, wherever. I've already cut some of them. I already cut one sheet up into 8 inch strips. So if you look at it, it's just we decided to do 8 inch wide, and that gave us as many strips out of a 4 foot sheet that we can get. So we're trying to utilize as much of the plywood as possible. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna clamp all of them together and get it to where all the edges are even. Of this is to go ahead and paint the edges, and if you have it real tight, you'll limit how much paint drips down the edges of it or something. So what I'm planning on doing is I'll paint around the open areas, and because I'm not painting the side, I can just slide the clamp down a little bit and then go about my business as I go. So hold on, put you on time lapse, and get that done real quick. All right, there you have it. One edge painted. Like I said, all I did was clamp it, try to get it as tight as possible, and I just painted over the top real quick. Now, I forgot to mention, my wife said that I should paint the edges the color we're gonna paint the wall. So if you see it, you know, it doesn't look, the wall behind it, we're painting primer. And she suggested we painted the edges the color we're going to paint the front of it, so if you see it, you know, it makes sense. So, and usually my wife's right and I'm wrong. So little tip for you husbands: if your wife, you know, suggests anything, she's probably right. You should listen to her. Anyways, so what I did, it's a little chilly out here, so I'm gonna let this sit a while and let it dry, check it, make sure it doesn't need a second coat, and then I'll flip it over and do the other side. In the meantime, we're gonna go back inside and start painting that wall while we're waiting. So see you back in. All right, another thing I wanted to mention was when you go to cut this real thin 1/4 inch style wood. The best thing to do is have you a high tooth blade count. This is a 180 tooth. It keeps from, if you do like a 60 tooth or 75 tooth or whatever it is compared to the 180 tooth, it'll really splinter the edges real bad. So if you look right here, it keeps it nice and smooth, and every cut that I did was good and smooth. And that saw blade isn't but like $12. So if you ever do DIY projects to the house, good saw blades make a difference. So you're going to invest all the money in table saws and other tools and all this other stuff. Don't skimp on your saw blades. Buy good saw blades and replace them as needed. Or some places, you know, can sharpen them for you, but $12 you can buy a new saw blade. So anyways, let's get back in the house and start putting this stuff up.
Take it real soon. You know we got what you need, baby. So take it, move along. I said we got what you need, honey. Come and groove along. Come on. Rolling on the highway, you know. Wow. Come on, and move along. Come on, said babe. I said babe. Oh honey, come and move along. You gotta feel it. Yeah, you gotta move along. You gotta feel it.
Alright guys, so back in the shop. So a little bit later today, a little bit colder too, but I wanted to show you what I got done. So let me flip you around. Basically real simple. I just painted both sides, flipped it over, had it clamped up, and like I mentioned before, the reason I clamped it was so you don't have, like I did get some drips here and there, and we're gonna paint this anyways, but if you don't have them, you happen to paint all the little edges, and you get all kinds of drips inside there. So you just paint it, or you clamp it real tight, and it makes it a lot faster. So now it's time to get the saw out and get everything set up in the garage, and we'll start cutting these.
see you smile again. Watch your eyes light up the room. Feel the sunny days caress our skin when we begin to fall. All the white noise fading out to the void of everything we've done. We always make mistakes, but round up just where we began. I might be lost again, but I haven't seen you today.
Forgot to nail it.
Come on, move along. I said, baby, I know you're on a roll. Sweet honey, let's take it real slow. You know we got what you need, baby, so take it, move along. I said we got what you need, honey. Come and groove along. Come on. Rolling on the highway, you know. Wow. Come on and move along. Come on. I said, babe. I said, babe. Oh, honey, come and groove along. You gotta feel it, yeah. You gotta move along. Gotta feel it, feel it, feel it, feel. You gotta feel it, feel it, feel it, feel. You gotta feel it. On the roadway, you gotta move along. Baby, gotta move along. I said, baby, you gotta move along. I said, honey, take it real slow. I said, honey, take it real slow. Gotta groove on. Gotta groove on.
All right, so new day, same project. Up here from in the ceiling, I just wanted to show you something real quick. I just thought about this while I started doing this, that I didn't turn the camera on and film any of this. This is like a shelf up in the very high part of the living room. I think you've seen in some earlier videos. But what I thought I'd share is how to find this angle. right here. I know there's probably 100 different ways to find a good angle, or how to find that angle and cut it out properly. But I'm different than most people, so I figured maybe someone else is out there like me and maybe struggle with this stuff a little bit like I do. This is the way that it works for me, so I thought I would share the way I do it, and maybe it'll help someone out. So first of all my boards are 8 inches. So first of all my boards are cut at 8 inches. If you see like that, they're all 8 inches. I know this it's kind of awkward angles because I'm up on top of a ladder about 12 feet in the air, so excuse this. But what I do is I measure from the end of this angle down 8 inches, and I mark the wall below, or I mark it 8 inches down from this piece, and I add just a 1/16 because we doing the shiplap, you know, we do the nickel gap. So when I measure right here, I add just barely a 1/16 to it, and then from my 8-inch mark, I measure all the way across the wall from there all the way to that edge over there, and then from here I measure from there all the way to the wall. So when I go lay out my piece of wood, like this one was, I believe it was, yeah, 54 3/8, and then up here was 44 1/8, I believe. If I can get my tape measure hook. So it was 44 1/8, and then what I do is I cut my material off at 54 3/8, and then I mark the 44 1/8, and I draw my line and I cut it, and it comes out perfect every time. So let me go out in the garage and I'll show you how I cut it out. Hold on. All right, we're in the garage. Excuse the lighting. Every light bulb in my garage has decided to go out at the exact same time. Anyways, so here's my regular 8-inch wood. It's 8 foot long. I haven't done anything with it besides, you know, ripped it down. So I measured that angle. The bottom length was 63 3/4. So you mark that. And you measure your top piece. So I got my bottom mark here. It's 63 3/4, and then the top is going to be 54 1/4. So you just mark that. Maybe one-handed, maybe. You know, I have a tripod and I'm not using it. 54 1/4. Right there. Okay, so now it's easier for me because it's an 8-foot piece. I'll go ahead and cut it at my long side straight because I got a sliding rated arm saw. So I'll cut it here, and then I'll show you. I'll make my line here, and then I'll cut it with the. You can use a circular saw or whatever, but I just happen to have the jigsaw in the garage, and the circular saw is way up in shop. Yes, that's lazy, but this is how we do it. I'll be right back. All right, I hope this is making some type of sense. Okay, so like I said, we had 63 3/4 down to this corner. I cut it off straight. Right here is my 54 1/4. It's up top. So now basically connect the dots from this corner to there. I'll take my jigsaw, I'll cut it out. I'll show you how it fits. Hold on. Got my angle cut out. I'll hit it up with some sandpaper real quick, straighten up my rough edges, and we'll go put it in. All right, I got the piece cut out, and again, I'm up on top of the ladder, so excuse me. And I'll hold that up there, and it's a perfect fit when I straighten it out. Okay, I'm doing this one-handed, so give me a second. Let me get it nailed up, and I'll show you. Now, the reason I started from the top down, and in this whole video, you probably noticed we started from the top and worked our way down. The reason is the top is more of a focal point than any spot down lower. And then if we had to cut any pieces off, we wanted it to be on the bottom side. Now, conveniently, this is 3 8-inch pieces, and when I'm done, there's going to be a gap right here at the bottom, about a 1/2 inch. But the good thing is, this is on a shelf, and when you're looking from down below, there's absolutely no way you'll see that gap. So that's why we started from the top down. I know most of the shiplap videos on YouTube and stuff, they all start from the bottom up, but this is our reason why we started from the top down. It's a little bit more aggravating holding the wood up and trying to get your gaps right. You know, you can't really just set it down on the nickel or whatever, so you just gotta be a little bit patient. So let me get this nailed up, and we'll get to painting. And just like that, you have 3 pieces of shiplap. Looks pretty good. So now all we gotta do is prime it like we did there, and we'll paint it. I still got one more shelf on the other side. It's right there. So we'll do that shelf next, and we'll carry on with the paint. All right, so welcome back to the end of this shiplap video. If you notice, I'm in different clothes because it's been like 3 weeks since I started this video. Between bad weather and running out of material and work, I just didn't have time to finish it, and it was driving me nuts, and we finally got it done. It's not perfect. If you sat there and critiqued me and looked at every little detail, you would know it's not perfect, but it was a home project, and I enjoyed it, and I think it come out really good. The wife seems to enjoy it, and she's happy with it, so that makes me happy. One trick that I decided to try and try to save a little bit of money on was I decided to use wood glue instead of like liquid nail or anything like that, because I needed wood glue for other projects, and a gallon of it was 12 bucks, where I needed 4 or 5 tubes of liquid nail for this, and that would have been like 30 bucks. So I tried that, but one tip, if you decide to use wood glue on anything like that, get a roller and roll it on very lightly. I put it on way too heavy up on the second board down, and if you look, some of our gaps are closed up, and that's actually because glue ran everywhere behind the boards. So just be careful. If you decide to use wood glue, make sure that you are just careful when you put it on. Make sure you roll it out and make sure it's smooth. Don't let it glob up or run, because it will make a mess that you'll regret. So learn from my mistake. So we even did the tops, both shelves up there, and they come out pretty good. And I believe I have a clip that you'll see before this of how I did my angles and stuff. So anyways, that's a quick recap of this video. I'm not going to talk too long. This is our shiplap. I have another project for this entertainment area. I'm not too crazy about it right now. It folds open, and all the electronics are behind there. My next idea is a lighter piece of material that folds up, so we can get behind it easier. So that'll be the next project. If it works out well, we'll do a video on it. I'm kind of not 100% sure on the details on that yet, so look out for that video next. And thank you all for watching, and if you have any questions on the shiplap, you can email me or hit me up on Instagram. And thank you all for following me, and please subscribe and like this video so I can get more views. The more likes we have, the more views it hits in the algorithm. So thank you all. Have a good day.
What are you doing?